This is Newsflash on Channel 247 to some stories making major headlines. Placement for 2022 graduates of the Basic Education Certificate Examination into senior high schools and technical vocational education and training has been released by the Ghana Education Service. According to the service, 538,399 out of the 547,329 candidates who sat for the exams qualified and can now log on to the Computerised School Selection and Placement System to check their schools. The Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Dr. Eric Nkansa, made this known at a press conference today. Away from that, now former Chief Justice Sufai Kufu has expressed disappointment in the performance of government since the inception of the 1992 Constitution, including the NPP. Even the new Patriotic Party under which she was appointed as Chief Justice is not exempted from her purview of poor-performing political administrations. For her, the Constitution has been constantly pushed to the back burner by successive administrations to the detriment of their citizens. The Office of the Vice President has begun investigations into circumstances that led to the arrest of the Director of Administration, James Kirk Osei, by the Office of the Special Prosecutor and subsequent arraignment before court. In a release by the Chief Director of the Office of the Vice President, the investigations initiated is in accordance with the Civil Service Procedures, Rules and Regulations, expressing satisfaction with the action of the OSP to investigate the matter. In September, James Kirk Osei was invited by the OSP for interrogation over rice importation, but was granted bail yesterday and expected to reappear on Monday, March 13th. Now, a 35-year-old man, Abdul Wadudu, has killed his father at Nkoko Zongo in the Kowu West municipality of the Eastern region. The 35-year-old man, who wanted to marry his father's nephew's daughter, is alleged to have complained about his father, Muhammad Umar, 75, not being in support, therefore allegedly murdering his father. A classmate of the 35-year-old man, Awesu Sani, told the media that Abdul had often talked about killing his father jokingly. Moving on, Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin says government must urgently make the diagnosis and treatment of hepatitis B free and accessible to communities. According to him, it is vital that destined diagnosis, vaccination, and treatment of hepatitis B be enrolled into the National Health Insurance Scheme to make it treatment affordable or even free, as done for tuberculosis and HIV/AIDS. In his delivery on the floor of Parliament about the disease, Mr. Afenyo-Markin explained that the treatable disease is killing people mainly because of the cost of treatment. Ghana's consumer inflation fell slightly to 53.6% year-on-year in January from a more than 2 decades high of 54.1% in the previous month, in the latest data from the Ghana Statistical Service, marking the first month that inflation has slowed since May 2021. The country is reckoning with its worst economic crisis in a generation as capital outflows, a crashing debt service burden, and rapid currency depreciation wreak havoc on government and household finances. And still in business, the prices of petrol and diesel are expected to drop significantly between 7.1% and 10.8% at the pumps from tomorrow, Thursday, February 16th. But for liquefied petroleum gas, which will go up for the next 2 weeks. According to the Institute for Energy Security, petrol will sell at about 14.40 cedis per litre, and diesel going for about 13.90 per litre in the coming days. But the price of kilogram of LPG gas may hang up to sell at 14.7 before the close of second pricing window for February 2023. And to some international news, the International Organization for Migration has announced that at least 73 migrants are reported missing and presumed dead following a shipwreck off the Libyan coast on Tuesday. Only 7 survivors made it back to shore in an extremely dire condition and have been admitted to hospital, it added. The vessel, according to the IOM, was reportedly heading to Europe. And still from across our borders, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has adjourned a legal challenge to the government policy of scrapping old banknotes, which has caused severe cash shortage to 22nd February, 3 days before the general elections. Last week, the Supreme Court suspended the deadline of 10 February for old notes to be handed in, but the governor of Nigeria's central bank, Godwin Emefiele, has added to confusion by insisting that the old notes are no longer legal tender. And to some sports news, former Ghana international John Pentel says Chris Hughton should consider working with someone like Kwesi Appiah if he wants to succeed with the Black Stars. Hughton was appointed the new head coach of the senior national team on Sunday night following extensive negotiations between the Ghana Football Association and the former. The appointment of the 64-year-old comes after Otuado's departure following Ghana's 2022 FIFA World Cup exit. Away from that, Ghana Premier League side Great Olympics have parted ways with head coach Yao Prekon after 5 months in charge of the club following the club's 2-1 defeat against newly promoted side in Swatreman FC over the weekend in the matchday 17 games. Prekon, who was named as Arno Walker's successor, lost 6 matches with the same number of wins and 5 ending in a stalemate after officially taking the job on a year deal in September 2022. The 2-time Ghana Premier League champions now sit on the 10th position on the league log with 23 points. In entertainment, the much-anticipated Jordan Sparks and Stonebwoy collaboration is happening much sooner than expected as the former American Idol winner has opened up about her first encounter with Stonebwoy. Earlier, a viral video showed reggae dance artist Stonebwoy with American musician Jordan Sparks in a studio. During the Grammy weekend, the award-winning reggae dance artist was seen in a warm exchange with the actress and musician, with Jordan Sparks making them hit the studio without delay. And finally, in entertainment, the family of the rapper aka Born Kenan Jared Forbes has disclosed that the burial service of their beloved son, who was murdered last Friday, will be laid to rest on Saturday, February 18, 2023, at a private burial in South Africa. AK's life was cut short when some unidentified men gunned him down in Durban. According to the family, a memorial service will be held for the rapper who left behind a 7-year-old daughter, Carol Owetu Forbes, ahead of his burial on Friday at Sandon Convention Center. And that's it for today's edition of Newsflash on Channel 247. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs.